Howdy guys, how's it going? So we are heading out to do a hammock camp because I feel like it has been a hot minute since we've had a chance to do a hammock camp. And this will be the first official one of the fall and or winter season. But unfortunately, we don't have very cold temperatures, but I thought it'd be a great chance to test out a new underquilt that I got. Because if you've been around for a little bit, then you'll know that when it comes to hammock camping, I've primarily just used sleeping pads or kind of makeshift underquilts, like using like a woobie blanket. But I have a Onewind underquilt that I want to give a go because like right now it's about 54 degrees. I'm wearing a thin merino base layer and then this overshirt because I was cutting through some briars and thick brush and I didn't want to take a chance on ripping that. But the sun is setting, so it will probably just about set behind that tree line by the time we get to our spot. But definitely ready to chill out and relax a little bit. Because overall, again, we have a pretty basic setup, a basic loadout of gear. So I'll get back with y'all whenever we get to one of our tried and true hammock camping spots. So, made it here with a decent amount of light left. I'm gonna see if I can get the majority of my shelter system out here without dragging all of our other accoutrements out with it. So here's our tarp. For this one, I decided to bring out my Bear Hard outdoors tarp. I believe this one's supposed to be 10 by 10. I will say one thing, it is kind of frustrating whenever they don't put the measurements on the storage sack. I know in most cases, if you're an average camper outdoors person, you might, just have one or two tarps that you have to go to, so it's easy to keep track. But when we're constantly cycling through stuff, it'd be nice to have, the storage sack labeled, but should be 10 by 10. We have got the Survival Systems Recon 2 41 degree bag. Cause tonight it shouldn't be getting below 43, 42 degrees, so that should be just fine. But this is the underquilt we're going to be testing out, and this is again a Onewind underquilt synthetic. The only thing is, again, with not labeling the storage sack, and I took the tag off when it got delivered, but I believe this thing has a comfort rating of, again, like 40-ish degrees, so it'll be more than enough, I'm sure. And then back along, stuff down the other side is our hammock. And I decided to bring out the hammock gear. Hammock is this thing, compresses down to absolutely nothing. And it's very comfortable to sleep in. The only thing I'm not sure is how well this particular underquilt is going to work this hammock. So it'll definitely be a little bit of trial and error, I'm sure. Things first, we'll get the old tarp up here. There's not going to be any rain or anything, so a tarp's not extremely necessary, but just a good way to keep you doing stuff off of it. But this might be an 8 by 10 tarp. I'm thinking that's what we're actually working with, not a 10 by 10. Might have to redo that a little bit later, but because that is so long and that big tree's back there, there's not a ton we can do about that. Now for the hammock, and I'm hoping, it's been a little bit since I've used this hammock gear. Hammock. Hoping that these straps are long enough to not. I always have paracord with me so we can figure that part out. Even though this is one that you can open from either side, seems like I remember there being a preferential head area. But I do remember one thing that I did love about the hammock gear straps was that these have dedicated sewn in loops all the way down, so it's not like one where you just have a limited number of loops to work with. And that right there is what we're working with right off the bat. We might end up having a fairly breezy night. And yeah, I'm thinking this is right. This is a double layer hammock, so most of the ones that I think actually all the camping hammocks I have at this point, I've always got these double layered versions, so you could put a sleeping pad in it, because I mean that is a method that I really like. But always fun to try out new gear. It's just where these are asymmetrical lay hammocks. That's the thing about, I think, getting the underquilt adjusted just right is going to be a little bit more of a trial and error than if you was just in your standard form of hammock. And we could sleep either direction. Ideally, I would like to sleep this way. So let's get our underquilt out here. Oh, and another thing too is, so like with my DJI camera, I found this really dope tripod. It's, I think it's, what is it, the Photo Pro UFO 3. If any of you guys are into recording outdoor content or just recording vacation, stuff like that, personal memories, I highly recommend that tripod, because being out right now, y'all are on the forest floor because of the angle here, but it's really easy to wrap that thing around trees and stuff. So that is going to be a constant piece of recording equipment that is out with me. So here is the underquilt in all of its glory. And again, I don't think anywhere on here, maybe it does. Okay, there it says Onewind bio-based fiber, sustain. If I notice another tag on here, I will let you know. And I think this is also actually meant to be dual purpose, because it does have snaps and stuff on here. So I think you might even be able to be intended to use this as like a poncho or a cape or something. Again, I always try to link to the gear in the description so you guys can look at the information, check her out for yourself. But I don't think there's any dedicated. Okay, there is a silver clip and a black clip. Now, normally I think the silver clip is intended to be like the lighter colored clips with these things are intended to be near your head end. Heading out towards the not necessarily the end of the day, it just gets dark so soon that, you know, heading out as soon as possible. I did not take the time to look this, you know, fully look up all the details about this again. But we're going to take and clip the head end up near our to our carabiner, or maybe just to the cordage that comes out of the hammock, and then do the same up here. And then we've got our draw cords to bring this up, and we got a draw cord right here to bring the sides in a bit around the back side. Okay, that right there actually looks pretty good. Now I just gotta make sure we're not stretching it too much, because I got the end sealed off and got it around the back side, because I do know that you want it to be kind of level with your sides, and we are definitely cocooned in this thing. And we seem to have, it's not like, we got a bit of dead airspace underneath in between the hammock and that. Okay, not bad. And just like laying in it for probably about 30 seconds to a minute, my underside already feels like it's retaining heat, as opposed to where if you've been in a hammock, especially since it's kind of breezy right now, you'll know that it takes pretty much no time at all when the air's fairly, you know, somewhat cool and there's wind blowing, for you to start to feel that cool, sometimes almost wet feeling underneath. So I think that's going to work just fine. And it just so happens that the color of the underquilt and this hammock is pretty dang near identical. So there you go. The actual adjustment toggles on this thing, was a bit different, so I ended up just tying like a bit of a knot right there after I cinched them in, because I don't know, I've used, Onewind does have these like self-adjustment clip things, and this looks kind of like those, but they're not functioning like that. And then you have your drawstrings here to cinch that up, so it's like if we needed this to not be as warm, we could uncinch this so that this will be a little bit more open to let some more air in. That seems like it's lined up pretty much exactly where we need it to be. Did end up being with what is going to be our foot end. It kind of had to be cinched up a little bit tighter, a little bit longer, but overall I think that right there is going to do just fine. Okay, and since this hammock is going to serve as our seat and lounge spot for the time being, I'm not going to take and put the sleeping bag or worry about our pillow. With this thing being an asymmetrical lay, you don't really need much of a pillow at all. And I did bring the Outdoor Vitals fleece with me, which we will need to wear. For sure need it in the morning. And then maybe later tonight, but that could very well end up being what I use for a pillow instead of the inflatable one that I brought with us, because that sleeping bag, I've used it a little bit below 41 degrees and with like a fleece and all that type of stuff on, and was fine. So, you know, if it's only going to be in just that low 40 range, we'll be perfectly fine just with our merino base layer and then our pants and stuff on. So not worried about that at all. We got some homemade deer chili that we are going to be warming up later. So really looking forward to that. Still a fire ban in the area, so brought out a tiny backpacking stove with me. Didn't have a chance to weigh this this load out, but like with water and everything, it's pretty dang light. Like it's probably, you know, in between 20-25 pounds. Definitely wouldn't say it's over 25 pounds. So yeah, just gonna chill out here for a minute. I'll get back with you guys whenever we start to get our meal situation situated. Okay, well, I am definitely ready to get the food going. Little stove. Here's our fire pit area from the last time that we camped here, which again, it's been a minute. That there. Oh, but then again, really excited about the meal for tonight. So in this canvas bag, first off, I'll pull out, got a thing of hot sauce. Then just left out in the packages, I got 2 pieces of cheese. This is some Colby Jack and provolone. And then the way that I ended up packaging this, so I didn't, could really reduce my chances. I guess technically it still could somehow end up spilling, but this is a British Army aluminum mess tin. And then in here, I've got crackers along this side. I got my spoon. And then I got my homemade deer chili and beans. So we're just going to be taking and putting her in here and warming her up on the stove, melting the cheese, adding the hot sauce, and we have got a 5-star meal. Yeah, I already know. Ideally, I'd be using a wooden spoon or a stick, but I'm gonna just really, you know, try to not scratch the bottom of this bowl or pan at all, and we'll just keep it on a low heat. Try to warm this through, keep her stirred around, and we should be good to go. But we got a nice, hefty amount of deer chili beans here. Okay, I think now's a good time to start adding in our cheese. Colby Jack. Get that mixed in there. A little bit of provolone. And as soon as all of that gets nice and melted in there, it'll be hot sauce time and we'll be ready to dig in. Okay. Now we'll take and hit it with some heavy hot sauce. I've had a god-awful head cold, so I'm really laying her to it where the hot sauce open up the sinuses. By golly, I do believe she is ready to dig in. So again, there is a final look at what we are working with. Oh, okay. Make sure we have our water because we are going to need it. The other important thing is to not spill any of this on our sleep system here. But this looks absolutely fantastic. Man, that's so good. So it's like, yeah, if you haven't seen, posted a hunting video, got an 8-point buck, I don't know, a couple days ago during muzzleloading season. Already got another deer. I'm sure that video won't be up by the time this one is. So that's 2 down. Ideally would like to get 3, but the bag limit in the state of Virginia is 6. So you know, can never hurts to get too much wild game meat, assuming you plan on eating it. And the first thing that I do after I get done processing the first deer that I get every year is I immediately go in and cook some tenderloin, and that was also in that video. But then a few days after that, we just took and made this deer chili the night before. So this is very, very fresh, extremely tasty. The one thing that I do want to do a decent bit, at least that I plan on doing, especially during some of our bushcraft overnighters, is taking out some deer meat, and we'll be actually like cooking it up as opposed to just warming it, but bringing out all the ingredients on a individual scale for like a one person's worth of meal to make chili is a little bit difficult. It's for sure more like a base camp meal. I just hate that it's not colder outside right now, because the morning that I got that first buck, it was about like around 20 to 22 degrees with wind chill, which felt great. And then after I killed that second deer that day, that's like opening day of rifle season. And by the time I got the deer back to the house to start processing it, it was like 60, 61 degrees, which is just not pleasant, not fun. And I was getting swarmed by yellow jackets while trying to clean it. So I just really wish that the cold weather would get here and stay here. Definitely took and brought more than I needed, but we ain't got to worry about staying warm tonight, because we'll be burning these calories all night long. Alrighty guys, so it's been about an hour since we ate. Everything seems like it's settling really well. So I'm going to go ahead and get things situated with our bed set up. We'll just get in here and chill out. Probably watch some stuff on my phone, and then hit the hay. Again, this is the Recon 2 sleeping bag. The reason I went with this one is because it is, well, not only is it kind of the perfect temperature rating for what the temperature is going to be, but it's also it's like the only non-really cold weather sleeping bag I have that is center zip. And center zip can be a lot easier to work with when you're talking about hammocks, in my experience. Not that side zips are too much of a hassle, but center zip is a little bit better. And like I said, this is my Outdoor Vitals fleece. I got it. We'll probably for sure need to put that on in the morning, but I do think I am just going to take and put this in the hood and use that as a pillow, because this thing is very, very soft, and then it'll already be warm, and I can just slide it on over my merino wool top I got on. So it's normally easier just to unzip that all the way to a little light here that I'll clip up there. And then I can get to my backpack through the zipper over there. Got my water right here outside, you know, it's not gonna be freezing or nothing, so don't have to really worry about that. I'm just gonna stuff this down here. Just reach under and make sure. Feels like our quilt's still nice and where it's supposed to be. Luckily, it's not too breezy at the moment. And then you'll see with the center zip, you can just get in. And then it's really easy to pull your sleeping bag up and around you. It's not as difficult to worm your way in. You gotta make sure we can reach your zipper. There is a little pocket inside of the sleeping bag here to where I can put my headlamp. That's what I'm gonna do because I got another little light up here. These are some Sofern lights that I'm testing out. And this actually does have red light, but I'll leave her on white light at the moment. Underquilt is still nice and in place. So yeah, I mean, right now, the temperature-wise, like I'm very, very comfortable as is. I definitely don't need to zip this up at all right now. The sleeping bag, I mean. Otherwise, I'll be sweating in about 3 seconds. Oh, and there we go, just readjusted that a little bit better. But yeah, I can already tell this is gonna be extremely comfortable. So yeah, and I'm sure some of y'all have a, you know, a ton of hammock experience. It's something that, I mean, just from the videos you guys have seen, I mean, I've done a decent bit of hammock camping, trying out different types and doing different things. And normally it's a very, very comfortable night's sleep. So as long as I don't have any unforeseen issue with this Onewind Underquilt, and again, this being an asymmetrical hammock, because that does pose just a little bit of a challenge. But I think for the first time setting this thing up, it turned out really, really good. And then, you know, really all that's left to do after that is, you know, we'll try it again in colder weather. Because, I mean, I feel like with an underquilt that it would actually be fine with that much dead airspace trapped to where you could probably push an underquilt a little bit colder than it's recommended. You know, might be completely stupid in thinking that, but I've used a Wooby in colder than 40 degrees and, like, I was fine with a good sleeping bag. So I think it would be okay. So yeah, guys, I'm just going to take it and, like I said, chill out, work on drifting off to sleep. So unless anything eventful happens, like the hammock falling in the middle of the night or something going wrong with the underquilt that's noteworthy, I will talk to you fine individuals in the morning. So until then, good night. Oh, good morning, guys. How's it going? So waking up this morning, it is actually not that cold. I don't have the exact temperature on me because I forgot to bring my little temperature sensor, but it's enough to where it's like my sleeping bag is, I slept with this like chest part open pretty much the whole night. I think like probably, if I had to guess, I didn't even look at my watch, probably like about 2 or 3 a.m. just took and kind of zipped it up just a little bit. I didn't wake up cold or nothing. I just kind of randomly woke up and zipped it up just to be extra cozy. But then, you know, when I got up, I was kind of too warm. Kind of sweated just a little bit. So, you know, this sleeping bag done great. So it was kind of the perfect one to bring. The center zip does work really, really well for hammock camping. The underquilt, you know, again, it didn't really get super cold, and we definitely didn't push below the 40 at all. If I probably just ended up being about like 45, 46 degrees. And yeah, we're probably touching on like 50 right now. So can't really attest to you know how warm the underquilt is, but it does definitely work. You know, no cold spots. The temperature is low enough to where if you know we had an issue with the underquilt popping out of place and stuff, and it's, you know, has been kind of breezy. It's getting a bit breezier this morning. We would have noticed, you know, at the very least, cool spots on her body. We know, at the asymmetric lay, it seems to have pretty much kind of stayed in place. Like, just reaching outside of the hammock, I can tell that kind of like where my left shoulder is probably not being covered the best. So, like, I would need to fine tune the those elastic draw cord things, just to kind of better, you know, better fit maybe my upper body in and around my shoulder. There wasn't enough pressure there. I'm kind of leaning more towards my right side anyways, so I think just having a bit of the lofted insulation from the sleeping bag, you know, prevented me from even, you know, feeling or noticing that at all. But might would have noticed it if the temperatures was, you know, lower than what they got to. Because I think, yeah, when I get out of the hammock, I don't even think I'm going to need my fleece at all. I'm pretty much positive I won't. Just by the time I take and put on our overshirt here to block a bit of the breeze, and then this merino, this is I don't know if I've even said it, this is like a night heron quarter zip merino base. So I'm, you know, with that, we'll, especially once we're moving, we'll be good as gold. So all that's left to do now is pack up, and I just want to go ahead and head out. But that is a nice thing about a setup like this. Really, the thing that takes the longest to get back in its stuff sack is a tarp, but the hammock, just take its stuff sack and just slide it over itself, and you know, just put the sleeping bag up and underquilt and their stuff sacks, and I mean, you're ready to go. You know, no poles or nothing like that. Alrighty guys, well, we are all nice and packed up. Again, the thing that takes the longest is just getting that tarp packed away, and that is the one reason why I haven't used that Bear Hard tarp in a while, is because it is one of those outdoor gear items that suffers from the plight of coming with a stuff sack that could definitely benefit from being a bit bigger. But everything else nice, quick, and easy, and it was actually pretty good timing because the wind is starting to pick up a decent bit. So glad we didn't have to fight the tarp or any of the other gear in the event that the wind does kick up. Because I was looking at my phone, and there is a wind advisory coming into effect for about the next like 4 to 6 hours. So good idea to go ahead and start heading out. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. As always, really appreciate you taking time to watch the video. Please make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you've not already, share the channel videos with your friends, family, anybody that enjoys good outdoor activities and gear. As always, I try to link to all the gear that I used in the video down in the video description if you want to go check it out for yourself. Be sure to leave up in the comment section thoughts, opinions, questions, things you'd like to see in the future, whatever. Make sure to check out the previous videos and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I drop something new. Because lots of bushcraft overnighters, more hunting, at least one more hunting video to come. So yeah, till the next one, adios.